Hello, Matthew Williams here with a video to talk about Apple Macs. And I've been repairing one for somebody, and what a fucking nightmare this has been. It's taken me literally, it's taken me 24 hours to get this fucking thing fixed. Yeah, because it took me all the time to get the files transferred, then transfer the operating system back on, and then, you know, do the Apple software updates, which take for fucking ever. I mean, hours. The machine was down whilst the fucking updates were going on, and then finally, when at the end, then transfer the files back on. But the biggest problem with Apple, and I tell people this, and I don't know if they take me seriously, but I am going to prove to you today that what I'm saying is correct, because I actually have a fucking Mac in front of me, and I'm going to show you what they do, right, which is infuriating, right? Well, the basic thing with Microsoft operating systems, for those of you that may not know, is that software which goes right the way back to Windows 3.1, which is, you know, out of the ark, that thing, you can still run a lot of that software, and I mean a lot, not all, but a lot of that software on Windows 7, you know, a machine from today. You can actually run that software, but that doesn't happen on Mac. In fact, completely the opposite happens on Macs, and I've told people about this. If you buy a Mac, this Mac works with this operating system. You buy another Mac, it only wants the next operating system up, and some of them can be upgraded, but this is what Apple do. They bring out operating systems like all the time. They're bringing them out all the fucking time and changing them. And every time they make a change to the operating system, say from version 10.2 to 10.2.5, yeah, that is considered a big enough diversion in the operating system for Apple to turn around and say, no, old software doesn't work with that now. Yeah, and they basically make you throw away your old software and get new. Now, a lot of people say, oh yeah, you know, Microsoft's operating systems cost a lot of money, you know, they might like cost 200 quid or whatever. You know, that's only the professional editions. The professional editions, most people don't need. You know, you can pick up an Apple operating system for about 20 quid. You can pick up a Microsoft operating system for about 90 quid. Yeah, but here's the big fucking difference. When you buy something like Windows 98 or Windows XP, that is going to last you 5, maybe 7 years, okay? Now, when you buy an operating system from Apple, it's going to last you less than a year, because there's going to be a major overhaul to that operating system. That means you pull off your old one and put on a new one, yeah? Now, how many operating systems have there been? Well, you've got Windows 3.1, forget it, that's really old, but it used to look about as shit as OS 8 and 9 on the Mac, remember that? So Windows 3.1 was pretty much as shit as those. But anyway, around about 98, when they were working with OS 8 and 9, and then it became OS 10, OSX. Okay, so then they went across to OS X, and we had Windows XP and Windows 2000. So we'll go from, let's say 2000. Let's start counting from 2000. So 2000, so let's say, sorry, 98. Windows 98, Windows 2000, Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8. And Windows 8 is very new, as you know, so that's, you know. Okay, so how many we got? We got, sorry, did I say this one? So we got six operating systems. 6 operating systems. Now, on the screen here, you can see how many operating systems there have been from Apple. Okay, starting at 10.0, let's not go back too far. 10.0, then 10.1, then 10.2, then 10.3, then 10.4, 10.5, 10.6, 10.7, 10.8, 10.9. So in the same time, right, they've had what are known as the major releases, yeah. But this is not the sub-releases, because they've had 10.6.5, 10.7.5. and these are considered major upgrades. So really what they've had is they've had about 15 to 20 major operating system revamps during that time. And when you get the new operating system and you have to wipe your old one off, a lot of programs won't work. You can't use your old software. You've got to get new versions of the software with a new operating system. So you have to throw all that software away. So when you go in and buy your Apple operating system, right, because they forced you, because they turn off the internet, Apple will go like, oh, internet's not working. It's because your operating system is just too old. It's only a year old, but it's just too old. You have to get a new one. So you go and get the fucking disk from the Apple store, you install it, and then you go, right, well, I get my old software then and put it back on. No, does not work. Software won't work with your new operating system. So you've got to go back to the fucking store and you've got to go buy the new iWorks, the new fucking iLife, whatever it is, yeah? You've got to go buy it and fucking stick it on again. So you add up the fact that you had to buy the operating system each year, 1 year at a time, right? Then you have to rip it off and put it back on with the mid-year fucking revamp that they do, and that'll knock out bits of your software. So you add together what you pay for the software and not just the payment of the fucking software, but the hassle involved in reinstalling a fucking operating system. Some people have been using their Windows XP for 2-3 years. I know some people who had a fucking Windows XP machine for 5 years. Yeah, you can't get that with Apple. You'll have changed your operating system fucking 5 times in 5 years. You know what I mean? So all this business about Apple is just so great, it never goes wrong. Well, Christ, it's a good thing it doesn't fucking go wrong. You're changing it every fucking year. It's like changing the engine in your car every year. You know, it's like, oh no, we don't take them to 100,000 miles. We take them to 10,000 miles, then we take them out. You know, so you've had 10 engines in your car, whereas I've had one engine which has lasted me 100,000 miles. So when people say Microsoft operating systems cost more, they fucking don't. And I will prove to you now that this is the case, because here we are. I'm trying to put this on a fucking on the Mac, and I go to iWorks, was it DMG? I can't see the mouse pointer. And that's the trouble as well. These fucking small screens on these Mac fucking laptops. People love these fucking small screens and small writings on Apple. Small fonts. Fucking rubbish. Yeah. So anyway, here we are. Look, it says Keynote. You cannot install. So you can't install 2013 on Leopard, which is a 2000 and let's have a look. 2009. Yeah, there we are. So you can't put a program from 2013 on an operating system that came just 3 years ago. Just 3 years ago, right? Okay, let's double click on Keynote and say, look, I want to install it. And what's the message? It says you can't use this version of the application Keynote with this version of Mac OSX because you're a stupid bastard and you must go out and buy the new stuff, or you must fucking go and get a new operating system. And it says you must have Mac OSX 10. You have Mac 10.6.8. That's Leopard, right? And the application requires Mac 10.9 or later. You see, because you should have gone out and got 3 operating systems in that time. You naughty, naughty person. You're supposed to get the 3 operating systems. And you think you can go out and buy software and stick it on your machine and have it run from years ago? Are you fucking retarded? You get the new software. Forget about your old software. You use your new software on your new machine. And if you want to use your old software, you use an old operating system. And there are 10 to choose from. And you've got to know which one you've got to have to fucking. So you have to have 10 operating systems to run 10 historical pieces of software from Apple. 10 operating systems, 10 machines to run 10 historical pieces of fucking software on your Apple. Yeah? Don't have to do that on Microsoft, do you? Yeah? So that's why you should not buy Apple. Are people understanding it yet? I hope so. Good night.